Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD. Today we're going to take our third look at the Konig Fleet from Dystopian Wars. And today I actually wanted to look at my models after I finished painting them. Now, I'm not trying to review them and say, oh, look at me, I'm a great painter. Honestly, I am barely mediocre in my opinion. But I do want to talk about my thoughts, my feelings about how the models went together, how they were as far as painting, what kind of steps I used, paints I used, things like that. But before we get into that, I do want to give a thanks and shout out to War Cradle Studios for providing these models for this review. They've been very generous. They've sent me a few different sets for Dystopian Wars, and I have been having a lot of fun with it. So if you are interested in Dystopian Wars, this fleet in particular, there will be a link in the description that will take you to waylandgames.co.uk, which does ship worldwide. So if your local stores or online retailers don't have the models, there is still a way that you can pick these up. So with that said, let's get into it and take a look. All right, so I'm going to start with this top-down view just so that you can see everything. I did forget the SRS tokens. They are right here, but I'm holding those for later, so I'm not too worried about not having those yet, especially since these ships can't launch SRS tokens. But regardless, here's everything that you get. If you watched my Congo fleet, this is what I did for painting the turrets and the generators. Just a simple popsicle stick, and you glue the bits on just with some Elmer's glue. I had a lot of trouble with the Congo fleet, so this time I actually used a really big dollop of glue. And it seemed to work a lot better to hold these little bits on. But overall, it did work really well for getting these models and pieces painted. So these are the rocket turrets. I like the detail. I like that they give you lots of different options for these models. These are the gun battery turrets. So, actually, let's do this. All right, so here are the gun batteries. I realize I'm showing these a little early, but they're smaller. Get them out of the way. So, they've got really good detail. Basically, I just hit these with a little bit of Vallejo brass, and then some Army Painter dark tone wash, and I really like the result on these. So I did the same thing on the rocket batteries. So the rocket batteries, I used a little bit of tarnished steel on the rockets themselves, the brass as well. And then again, hit everything with the dark wash, and that worked out just fine. All right, so let's start off with the Konig class generator ship first. All right, so this is it. Now the generators might fall off, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Overall, this was I really like the look of this model. They've done some interesting design choices with these raised decks, and then the rail system that goes down the center line of the ship. Now you can't see the rails anymore because, well, actually you can see them a little bit here at the end because I did finally glue this piece in, and the EMP cannon as well. Well, actually, I don't think it's an EMP cannon, but that'll work for this. I did have a little trouble though, because once it's assembled, you can't necessarily get in there very well, but you also don't really see it, so it's not a huge issue. There, I know I didn't do very well with this piece here. The way that they had it painted originally is they had sort of a light blue, kind of an electromagnetic kind of look to it. But I basically then went back over with some brass to kind of pick out the highlights and leave the blue underneath. It worked okay. I really did struggle with painting these models. I wasn't as excited or motivated as I was with the Konig Fleet, but I do think that the end result, even just trying to stick to the official paint scheme, worked out pretty well. I used what was it? The pale blue-gray from Vallejo for the base color. But then what I also did is I used US Flat Earth and thinned it out a lot. And that's basically what I used for this brown tone, kind of implying like some rust between the seams of the plates. So I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I definitely enjoy the final product. It was just a little frustrating, getting going with it. So, but that's a top-down view of that. I'm not going to do a 360 of the generator ship just because it is a little large. But let's switch over to our close-up camera and get some 360 of the rest of the ships. All right, so first off, we've got the Augustus class cruiser. Now, this one, when I painted it, again, Vallejo brass. I used the same techniques as I did with the generator ship. But with this one, I did make the mistake of I glued the forward-facing cannons. I glued those in very early, but I did leave the control tower off before starting to paint. That's one trick that I have found to work very well because there are a lot of undercuts, things like that. There's this center line track that you can see right here, and so in order to be able to paint that, leaving these elevated portions off seemed to help. But overall, I like how it came out. It's an interesting style, even for someone who's not really the best painter. Again, using more of that thin down tan earth to get the rust spots in the seams. I really like the look of that. All right, next we have the Ferdinand class cruiser with the 2 gun batteries. So this one I did leave everything off. The gun battery, lifts the command tower itself, and painted those up separately. And I think it worked pretty well for those. Again, Vallejo brass, dark tone shade. Honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of colors on these, and I think it came out really well. I'm now that I've got a couple of fleets, I'm actually I'm trying to find the official dice and tokens, but they are the starter set, the Hunt for the Prometheus, apparently is extremely difficult to come by here in the U.S. at the moment. So I'm probably going to break down and order it from Wayland directly, but we'll see what happens. Right now, got to work out some budget stuff, but that's a separate issue. But overall, I do like how these came out. So that is the Ferdinand. All right, next we've got the, I believe these are the Toten class destroyers. So these I assembled completely, before doing any painting. Again, you've got that rail going down the middle, which assembling this one completely made it a bit more difficult to get to. I was trying to just hit it with a dry brush and then go back and fill it back in with some of the dark gray that I used for that lower level. It worked okay, not so great. But I didn't want to... I didn't want to paint it normally with a very tiny brush and try and pick out all of those details. My brain was not in it for that. So that is the Ferdinand. And then the last one we've got is the Arminius class frigate. Now this guy's just adorable. I did have a little trouble with that electromagnetic generator on the back. It definitely looks a little sloppy, especially when you get up close with it. But overall, I mean, the 3-foot rule, it looks fine. It'll look fine on the table. I just, need to clear off the table and get the ocean mat out. But there we go. So that is the Konig Fleet for the Imperium in Dystopian Wars. I really did enjoy it, even for my frustrations and for my lack of focus trying to get them all assembled and painted. But if you are interested, I absolutely recommend that you check out Wayland Games or your friendly local retailer and give it a try. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got more videos for Dystopian Wars coming. I'm working on the Union Enterprise set, and that one's going to be a lot of work. Those big sets are much more than I anticipated, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any of those when they come out. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.